The Glock 27 is one of the most overlooked firearms in the Glock lineup. This 40 caliber subcompact has earned a reputation for unmatched reliability. But here's what's crazy. Despite its bulletproof dependability, I discovered why most gun owners are actually avoiding it completely. The 9mm has completely taken over, offering similar stopping power with way less recoil and higher capacity. The gun market has evolved dramatically since the Glock 27's heyday. But I wonder, in a world obsessed with 9mm, does this forgotten 40 cal deserve another look?
One of the main, at least in my opinion, selling points for this baby Glock was the fact that the full size, if you're running a Glock 22, which is the 40 caliber full size Glock, if you're running that, the baby Glock actually accepts those magazines. So where this came into play is for a lot of law enforcement. They would run the baby Glock as their backup gun, because back when they were carrying 40s, you know, most agencies, they run 2 or 3 full-size mags. If anything happened, you could switch to your backup, which is the baby Glock. And the baby Glock, this is a full-size Glock 22 mag. The baby Glock accepts it. And this is my very first concealed carry handgun. I'll go over the specs and kind of talk to you guys about it, what I think about it, if I still like it or if I dislike it, and kind of let's just talk about it. We'll shoot it and we'll go over it. All right, so the Glock 27 Gen 4. It's kind of an odd gun. I feel like it gets a lot of hate. People either love this thing or they hate it. I've had it for over 10 years now. I've kind of, as far as retired it for not carrying it anymore. Make sure it's clear. And the reason being is not that it's not a good gun. I love it. It's a good gun. It's fun to shoot. The main thing for me, the reason I don't like carrying it is just because of the thickness of it. It's as thick as a full-size gun, and which for me, it makes it hard to carry concealed. It's not necessarily hard, it's just more uncomfortable. It's like carrying a block. And I'll get my Glock 43 and 42 and kind of show you guys what I mean by that. And then if you're one of those guys that really can't stand the, you know, your fingers hanging off, you definitely have your fingers hanging off on this when you shoot it. And I mean, this is kind of how I shoot it. I just hook a finger under here and shoot it that way. But if you're one of those people who doesn't like that, you're really not going to like this. I think where this gun really shines is the fact that it'll accept the full-size mags. So that's why this gun was so appealing to law enforcement is, you know, you got an extra couple mags on your duty belt, need to use this, then you can take the full-size mag. And so that's really appealing. But like I said, with it not being a single stack, it's really cumbersome to carry, and I really don't like how thick it is. It's very blocky. So that's the reason I don't like it. However, it is a great gun, and I do love 40 caliber. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about 40 caliber, but I think it's a really good round, and I've always been partial to it. It's just nowadays the latest and greatest, you know, new release, small, micro, compact carry handguns. They don't really make them in 40 caliber anymore. But the thing about 40 caliber is when, you know, take times like the pandemic and stuff like that, 40 caliber was a lot more readily available than 9mm. So that was another good feature about having a 40 caliber. So, I mean, look at the size difference with a 9mm and a 40 caliber. So I mean, you got a pretty good size difference between the bullets. So the reason I ended up with this is my dad actually gave me a Glock 22, which was the full size 40 caliber, and I thought, well, shoot, if I got that, why not have this one, because then I can run the bigger mags in it if I wanted to, or just keep the same caliber, because it's nice to have multiple weapons that shoot the same caliber. So that's how I ended up with it. But I found myself not carrying it as often just because, like I'm saying, it's not that I like how it's small. You know, I'm a fan of the 43 over the 43X just because, I mean, if you want to put a bigger mag in it, you can always give yourself more grip. But as far as carrying it concealed, the longer this thing gets, the more it digs into you and the more you end up with printing and stuff like that. So I'd rather carry comfortable and be a little uncomfortable if I had to use it in a self-defense situation. So let's talk about the length of it. It is just under 6.5 inches long, just over 1.25 inches wide. So like I said, it's as wide as your Glock 22 or any of your full-size Glock. It is a double stack gun. So it's a baby Glock, so it is a small gun, but it's not a single stack, so it's pretty thick. And then it is just under 4.25 inches tall. So here's a comparison with like my cell phone. It's not a huge gun, but it is very thick. I mean, if you take a phone and look at how much thicker that is, you're gonna have to wear some bulky clothes to keep this thing concealed. So summertime, that might be an issue, but having a 40 caliber and being able to have a small
profile like this is really nice. So that's why these things were so popular with law enforcement. Loaded, it does weigh 26 ounces, and empty, just how it sits right here, is just 19 ounces. So one thing that I think is kind of cool about this gun is you can actually convert it to a 357 or 9mm. You can get conversion kits for it. So that makes it kind of cool. I mean, if you want to drop a different barrel in it and have that option. With this one being the 4th gen model, they didn't really change much in the 5th gen. They got rid of the little finger groove here. And then I think they added the front serrations on the slide on the 5th gen model. But they haven't really changed this model much. They don't offer it in an MOS, so you can't run an optic on it. You could always ship it out and have it milled. The Glock store does a lot of milling. But as far as just purchasing it off the shelf and being able to run a red dot, they don't offer that option. Here's a side-by-side comparison of it next to the 43. So pretty much the same length, except it doesn't look like it's a whole lot thicker. But I mean, when you carry this thing, you will feel the difference of how much thicker it is than a 43 or even a 42. Pretty much the exact same size as a 43, just a lot thicker. And then as far as the 42, which is, I mean, my personal favorite, yes, it's a 380 and it's not a 40 caliber, but this thing is gonna be just so lightweight and easy to carry. You're just gonna always wanna gravitate towards this out of these three. Unless you're going somewhere where you're worried about firepower, then you might wanna grab this guy. But let's look at the size comparison. It's way longer, way thicker, about the same height. That's a size comparison. I'll get them all three here for you. I mean, so you can see the thickness in all of them. I'm telling you, the thickness of the firearm really makes a huge difference when you're carrying in the waistband or, you know, trying to pocket carry, stuff like that. So that's why I really like the 42. This was my first CCW gun. This is the first one I ever got. And so it's always been partial to me, and I really do like the 40 caliber. There's a lot of other options. It's just unfortunate that if you're someone who really likes 40 caliber, ever since most law enforcement agencies and military branches were switching over to 9mm, it seems like that's kind of the trend and everyone's going that direction. But this is a really good gun. I have no issues with it when it comes to reliability and function. I know a lot of people complain about the recoil and stuff like that, but you got a solid grip on this thing. It's 40 caliber. It's not anything that's gonna be crazy to shoot. I really enjoy this gun. I just don't like carrying it for the thickness. If I'm gonna carry something this thick, I'm just gonna carry a full size and have more rounds. This does hold 9+1, and then there's different configurations as with all Glocks for the pinky extensions and stuff like that. But yeah, those are kind of just the overall specs of it in a side-by-side comparison. Once again, it does have those sights on it, the good old Glock sights that really not a fan of. I do like the 4th gen's grip texture. I like the 5th gen better, but there's not really any reason to get a 5th gen over this one. If I was gonna buy another concealed carry handgun right now and I didn't own any small Glocks, I don't think I would get the 27 just because of the 40 caliber. I think I would for sure go with, if weight and thickness was a factor to me, I would for sure go with the 42 or the 43. And like I said, I'm not really a fan of the 43X just because it's just longer and just more printing. If you want to extend the length down, you can always get a longer mag for that. That's kind of just my thought. The one thing I do like about the 43X is that it does have the MOS option right off the shelf, but then again, you can always send your slide out and have it milled, so it's just kind of whatever your preference is.
We'll go ahead and shoot the full-size mag in the little baby Glock. Gotta love 40 caliber.
But yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Glock 27 4th gen. Like I said, the other generations, they didn't change a whole lot with them. The size is still the same and everything like that. It is a great little handgun. It's just not my first choice when it comes to what I wanna throw in the waistband and carry as personal protection on a daily basis. So it definitely does have a place, and I don't think it's a bad handgun at all. I really like it. It's just a little more cumbersome than I would like to carry. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, you guys know I like the real micro compact lightweight guns. So the main thing I do enjoy about this one is the fact that it is 40 caliber. I am a person who really does like 40 caliber. I grew up shooting 40 caliber, so there's always been a spot for 40 caliber kind of in my heart, so that's why I do have it. It's just one that's in the collection that I'll go out and shoot occasionally, but it's not going to be the one that, you know, it goes in the waistband, is
goes out on the town with me. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. If you guys got a Glock 27, or if you guys got any other single stack, double stack, what do you guys like carrying? And what your guys' thoughts are on the 40 caliber. I know it's kind of controversial. A lot of people like 40 caliber, a lot of people don't like it. So I think it's cool. I got plenty of 9mm handguns that I enjoy, and I think there's a lot of really good options, and even 380. So I'm not like a caliber specific person. I think they're all tools, and it just depends on the application, you know. If I'm gonna carry something thick because I'm worried about, you know, wanting to have a lot of rounds, I'll grab something like this. And, you know, yeah, it's bulky and stuff, but then I'm gonna have a lot more rounds, have my light on there, have my red dot, so I'll be set up. So that's just my personal opinion. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, but let me know what you guys think. Once again, thanks for watching. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. Really appreciate it, and stay safe.